What's up, future CPAs? Look, if you're trying to lock down those tricky labor law concepts for the LECPA, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to build the ultimate cheat sheet, one that's designed to make these rules stick, not just for the exam, but for years. All right, let's get into it. Okay, let's be real. Does your brain kind of freeze up when you try to remember the overtime premium for a regular day versus a rest day? You are not alone. It's a classic trip up on the exam. But don't worry, we're about to make it so simple it'll stick for good. So here's our game plan. We'll kick off with why this is such a big deal for the exam, then build our foundation with the 8-hour rule. After that, we'll master the premium calculations, tackle the night surcharge, cover when overtime is mandatory, and then wrap it all up with a rapid-fire review to lock it all in. So why are we drilling down on this so hard? Well, for one, these rules are going to be part of your entire career. But for right now, let's just focus on the LEPA. These are classic questions designed to test your attention to detail, and honestly, they're easy points if you know them cold. The real challenge here isn't just cramming for exam day. It's making this stuff stick in your brain for the long haul. And that's exactly what this explainer is for, to give you a super clear, memorable breakdown that you can easily recall, even under pressure. All right, first things first. Before we can even begin to talk about overtime, we have to get the basics down solid. Seriously, everything starts with the standard workday. If you get this right, all those complex questions suddenly become way, way easier. This right here, this is the absolute bedrock of labor standards. The labor code couldn't be clearer. The standard for a normal workday is a maximum of 8 hours. This is the number that every single overtime calculation is built on. So let's just burn this number into our memory. 8. 8 hours is the magic number for a regular workday. Simple, right? Now here's where it gets interesting, and where they often try to trick you on the exam: the definition of hours worked. It's not just when you're actively doing something, it's any time you are required to be on duty. And here's the key takeaway. Those short rest periods, like a quick coffee break, they count as hours worked. They are paid. But, and this is a big but, don't confuse those short breaks with your main meal period. The law says employers have to give you at least 60 minutes for regular meals. This is considered time off, which means generally it is not paid. So short breaks are paid, the main meal break is not. That distinction is crucial. And here's our second magic number to remember for today: 60. A minimum of 60 minutes for your unpaid meal break. Lock that one in too. Okay, let's get to the part that really matters for those exam calculations: the overtime premiums. This is what I like to call the money slide, because getting this right earns you points. And, well, it's literally all about the money. Here it is, laid out nice and simple. For any work you do past 8 hours on a normal workday, the premium is an extra 25% of your regular wage. But if that overtime happens on a rest day or a special holiday, that premium gets a nice bump up to 30%. That difference is everything. And here is a fantastic little study hack to remember this forever. A regular day is your base day, so it gets the base premium, 25%. A rest day or a holiday, that's a special day, so it gets a special, higher premium, 30%. Base day, base premium. Special day, special premium. See? Easy. Okay, let's add one more layer to this whole thing. On top of your regular pay and your overtime pay, there's a special premium for working late. This is the night shift differential, or as I like to call it, the night surcharge. The rule is actually really straightforward. For any hour worked between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., you're entitled to an additional 10% of your regular wage. And notice that this is separate from overtime pay. It's an extra premium just for working those specific late-night hours. So our third key number for today is 10%. Just remember that 10% premium for every hour you're working while most people are fast asleep. Okay, pop quiz time. Let's break this down together. First, we need the hourly rate. So that's 1,200 pesos divided by 8 hours, which is 150 pesos an hour. Simple enough. Now, how many hours actually fall within that night shift period? He works from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m., but the night shift starts at 10 p.m., and we have to subtract that 1 hour unpaid break. So that leaves us with 7 paid night hours. So we take our hourly rate of 150, find the 10% premium, which is 15 pesos, and multiply that by our 7 night hours. Boom. That gives us a total night differential of 105 pesos. Now, usually, working overtime is your choice, but there are some very specific, legally defined situations where an employer can actually require you to work overtime, and you absolutely need to know these exceptions for the exam. Basically, these situations all boil down to one thing: emergencies. We're talking big stuff like war or a national disaster, preventing loss of life, urgent repairs to avoid a massive business loss, or saving goods that are about to spoil. In these 5 specific cases, saying no to overtime isn't really an option. All right, deep breath. We've covered all the core concepts. Now, let's lock them in with a super quick, rapid-fire review. This is your final flashcard drill before you walk into that exam. You ready? Golden rule number 1, the foundation. A normal workday is 8 hours. Golden rule number 2, the break. A minimum of 60 minutes for meals, and it is not paid. And the big one, golden rule number 3, the overtime premiums. Base day gets a base premium, 25%. Special day gets a special premium, 30%. And we'll end with this question for you. Now that you've got the cheat sheet, seriously think about it. Where is the easiest place to make a mistake? Is it mixing up that 25 and 30%? Forgetting to subtract the meal break? Thinking about your potential weak spots now is the best way to avoid them on exam day. You've got this.